Okay, so I sewed down the middle between the pins on the diagonal from one corner to the other, and taking that out, that looks better. Okay, so we can cut off this corner, okay, because it's extra material. Just leave 1/4 inch past the seam line so that you can iron that. Okay, so you have your seam. Okay, and then when you flip it over, it should look straighter than that. I must have cut that piece of fabric a little wider than the other one. But that's what happens when you don't cut your fabric correctly. So what you want to do is continue on with the rest of your fabric strips and just put right sides together and make sure your stripping edges are straighter so that they meet up evenly. Okay, so if they're not, just take them to your little cutting board and cut them with your cutter on a straight line. So I'm going to just cut a little bit off so that they both look straight. And then I'm going to match the corners up, put pins on either side of your, one on the outside, one on the inside, like that. And then if you need to, take your pencil and your ruler and draw a line from one corner to the other so that you know where you're sewing. All right, and then take it to your sewing machine and sew on that line. And double back stitch in case you have to cut any, so that the seam doesn't start popping out. Because I have had that happen. Because when you iron it sometimes, you know, and you start sewing it on a quilt and pulling at it, it'll sometimes pop out. Okay, so once again, you're going to take your scissors, leave 1/4 inch seam allowance, or a little bit more sometimes. Leave, you know, something to sew, to iron open. And then when you open it, it's straight, okay? So just go along and finish that up. And then we're going to iron it, fold it in half, and we're going to iron it evenly, like so it looks like this. Okay, so I'm going to finish up my binding here, putting right sides together. Don't forget, make sure the edges are even, and if they're not, just trim them, because I did not trim the edges of my fabric when I was cutting strips. So take it to your board, cut it so that the edges are even, so that they match up better. Okay, just if you have even edges, it just makes everything simpler, and then you're not guessing where your edges are. Okay, so going to pin this one. Have my 2 little pins here again. Pin on the outer corner, pin on the inner corner. Take your ruler. See, that's why you pin them, because the fabric wants to move. Okay. And then, I'm not doing this, showing you guys very well. All right. So, I did something else. Still didn't get that even. See, I'm trying to do this too quickly and then I didn't get it even. Let me put it on my board, my mat. My mat, if you put it on your mat, it'll hold it better so it's not moving around. All right. Put it on your mat, pin the outer corner, pin the inner corner. Take your ruler, draw a line from corner to corner down the center of your pins. Okay? Make sure it's even. Bring it to your sewing machine and sew on the line. Back stitch. Alright. Take your pins out. Cut your thread. Technically, you should cut your thread before you take your pins out, but that's beside the point. And then take your ruler, and you can cut that at 1/4 of an inch if you like. Make sure it's straight. There you go. That's what it looks like. So I have one more strip, or do I? Nope, I got them all. All right, so I'm going to take this to my ironing board. And I'm going to fold it in half and iron it evenly. And when you get to your seams, you're going to press your seam open. You can do it with your fingers if you like, but I usually just iron them open. And then you're going to fold it in half after you iron the seam open. And then iron it like that. Okay? I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to put it on your quilt. All right, bye.